Some children grow up feeling like they are the responsible one in the family. They are who keeps track of appointments, calms everyone down, solves problems, and who people go to when they need something in the family. The child may be praised for being mature, dependable, and capable. And it's not until the child is much older that they realize they were fulfilling a role that should have never been placed on them. But they had to because the adults in their life weren't fulfilling their role and responsibilities. A child who is the caretaker, the peacemaker, the organizer, the emotional support can become so accustomed to this role, it feels like it's normal. They may not question why they are the one making sure that everyone is okay. They learn to anticipate problems and read people's moods. They may be extremely good at handling things because there wasn't much room for them not to be. When other children were allowed to just be children, they were learning to manage adult responsibilities. I began paying my mother's bills when I was 10 years old. The difficult part is that children often don't have the perspective to understand what is happening. If your mom is upset and she needs help, you help her. If your father is angry and everyone needs someone or something to calm things down, you try to calm things down. If a parent becomes emotionally overwhelmed, you're the one that is there to listen. You don't necessarily think, I'm parenting my parent. You think, this is what I have to do. Responsibility becomes part of your identity before you are old enough to recognize that you should have never had so much of it. Then you become an adult and the patterns follow you. You become the one that organizes family events, resolves conflict, mediates between other family members, and steps in whenever things go wrong. Many adults who were parentified have a hard time watching someone struggle without immediately trying to jump in and fix it. Other people may call you dependable, but underneath that dependability is exhaustion. You learned a long time ago that if you don't take care of something, there's a really good chance that no one else will. Eventually, something changes. The parent who depended on you may actually begin to need help as they get older. They may need assistance with technology, appointments, medications, finances, or everyday decisions. And that's where the story can become complicated. Other people look at you and think, well, of course you'll help your mother. You always have. But what they don't see is you've been doing this for decades. The well that they expect you to draw from is not full anymore. It might be down to a very small puddle. Sometimes the adult child reaches a point where they say, I don't have it in me anymore. And it's not because they don't care. It's not because they want their parent to suffer. They are simply exhausted. There is a big difference between refusing to support someone that you have never supported and reaching the end of your capacity after carrying responsibilities for someone that never should have been yours. When you've spent decades being the responsible one, being asked to take on more responsibility as your parent ages, doesn't feel like giving back. It feels like being asked to carry more of a role that you desperately need to escape. This can bring up enormous guilt because society acts as if adult children have an obligation to care for their aging parents. They act like we should want to. There is very little discussion about what happens when the relationship has already consumed too much of the child's emotional and practical capacity. Aging does not erase the history of a relationship. A parent becoming older does not automatically give access to an unlimited supply of energy from a child that has spent their life being the caretaker, organizer, problem solver, and emotional support. Compassion for an aging parent and recognition of your own limits can exist at the same time. Sometimes the most difficult realization is you can love someone, but you can't keep parenting them. You can care about what happens to your parent without making yourself responsible for every problem that they encounter. They were the ones who were supposed to support and guide us, not the other way around. You can help when you genuinely have something to give and say no when you don't. And after a lifetime of being the responsible one of the hardest lessons to learn can be that you are allowed to stop carrying what was never yours to carry in the first place. Have a good day.